You know what that stupid countdown reminds me of?
What's that?
Frickin' Cher. Now I'm ready to hear whatever comes next. Cher, love that. I hate that countdown.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome in.
Hey
Yes.
everyone. Sorry
We
about the different
apologize for the,
intro.
yeah.
We're we've got an issue we should be able to clear up really soon, hopefully. And hey Kim.
Eliza, your mic is just a little crackly, and that's weird because it hasn't been in a long time.
Well, today would be the day, wouldn't it?
It was.
Of course, of course.
Of course.
Do we want to start with corrections first, or how do we want to go, ladies?
Hey, Dee.
Yeah, start there with. Let's do our
Corrections.
housekeeping first.
Housekeeping.
Okay, I know that Bugsy wanted to say something about something that was said on Perps.
It was actually said on Jenna's,
Oh, was
and
it, darling?
Purple was watching it, and I don't know if she mentioned that we said something about don't drive if your blood sugar's high. No, we did not say that.
Right, that was actually, she's referring to me then. I mentioned it in a long list of things, which included, from personal experience, if you're developing a migraine, don't
Yes.
drive.
Right.
If you have a health issue where you develop seizures, I listed a whole long list of things.
You did.
Unstable blood sugar was one of them, one of many.
Yes.
You're not a unique case. You're not the only diabetic in the world. I was talking generally about health issues.
Yes. And I brought up my son because he couldn't drive because he was hypoglycemic unaware. He didn't know when his blood sugar would drop because it would do it so quick. And I wasn't about to take the chance on him or someone else being in
That's
that line of fire.
responsible.
And she made the comment, well, you're something about your pancreas still produces. I get that, but when he was 7, he had a virus, and for whatever reason, because I asked about this, I said, can the pancreas ever restart up again? Because I knew the liver could, and it can repair itself or something, but they said no, it's killed off that part of the
Well,
pancreas.
your son had type 1, correct?
Yes, juvenile
Yeah.
diabetes.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, with type 2, I believe that
different.
sometimes their pancreas does produce insulin. It
Yes.
just doesn't. But type
It's off
1,
and on.
it does not. Yeah. Yeah.
I just wanted her to know that every diabetic is different. I get that too.
Mm-hmm.
And like you, Eliza, I've dealt with this since '94. So Eliza's dealt with it for a long time. But I just wanted to correct her. We were saying that in response, like Pearl listed off everything. There's so many different reasons. My son was out in a parking lot one time and he was very low. They thought he was a drunk. They were laughing at him.
No.
Just because someone acts that way doesn't mean they're drunk.
Yeah.
And their breath will smell like lifesavers. It will smell
really?
sweet.
Huh.
Yes. Now I'd never noticed that on him. Fruity. It's a fruity smell.
Yes, they say pear drops in the UK because that's quite a common UK sweet. Most people know the smell of it, and that's what they will say if somebody's breath has that smell of pear drop.
Yeah, but they didn't bother to check. A lot of people, and I don't expect everybody to, but just have that extra thought there.
Right. But you know, Bugsy, some people are absolutely dedicated to misunderstanding and getting things wrong.
Yep.
That's the only way.
Dedicated. I like that.
Dedicated. Yeah.
Very dedicated.
So yes, it wasn't a specific dig.
No.
Diabetes was in a long list of health issues.
Any health, like you said, migraines. Some people get double vision with migraines.
And I really can't concentrate. When I get a migraine coming on, I get aura. I have to shut everything down. I can't look at a screen. I have to take my medication. lie down somewhere quiet in the dark room, and it is inconvenient. You know, you can put anything down.
Pearl,
Uh-oh,
you
you
went
went out,
out,
Pearl.
Mum.
I've walked out of cinemas.
There you
Oh,
go.
there you
I
go.
waited a long time to see a film, you know, and bought tickets, which cost a fortune now. And it's been 10 minutes into the film and it starts, and I cannot stay. And I know I can't stay. And I have to come home. It's one of those things. I know that she made the comment that, well, sometimes you just have to drive. Try making that make sense in court. If I'm not talking about you, Purple, I'm talking about it as an argument. Yes, I know I'd had several drinks, but I needed to go and do so and so. It's not going to fly. You have a responsibility to be capable of driving in an accurate and safe way. And if you can't do that, don't get behind the wheel of a car. And yes, we're talking about this again, because if people still keep saying bullshit things and putting words in our mouth, then we will come back to it. That's the way conversation works.
I just
And we
want
don't
to
think we know it all either.
I just want to welcome Mama Jerk to membership, and what a jerk. Thank you.
Oh, Mama Jerk. Love you.
Thank you, Mama Jerk.
Also,
I don't know if you're still on holiday or not, but if you are still away on vacation, I hope you're having a fantastic time.
Yes.
Also, new members, you know, I know how much that everyone likes to wish we a happy birthday, so I have made a special emoji for members to use for that, so you don't have to, you know, always type it out every time. Just for we love you so much. Happy birthday, darling.
Oh God, she's gonna kill you.
She's gonna Ewok you inside out.
I ain't scared.
Cute. Where you at, Wee? Yes,
right. Checking convictions.
Oh, that's so cute.
Convictions. Yes.
What?
The little wee icon. I see it now. It's so cute.
Oh my gosh!
That's so cute.
That is adorable.
What is that one Nico just dropped? Us in the
Is
bush.
that the lurking in the bushes?
Oh, and there is May Hazel gifting 5 again, and we know May. She's gonna figure this out. Is there a hellfire?
Yeah.
I love it. Shout out to Eliza.
Way to
It
go,
looks like
Eliza.
it's possibly not awarding the memberships again. I wonder why it's glitching.
Hold off on gifting memberships. We appreciate it, but it's not seeming to work. Unfortunately. Hopefully YouTube will get it together and get that problem fixed. But
obviously what people need to do is you need to put a piece of music over the gift membership bio because they sure as hell notice that.
Let me tell y'all, we are having issues again with these copyright. And I'm going to tell you something. If you work for the music, the copyright Pearl's coming to get you. Get out of her way because you will answer to her.
Yep, tomorrow is going to be the day of me finally sorting out the copyright.
She said,
we make these great
intros. A piece of music that doesn't actually appear in the show anywhere.
She's mad, guys. She's mad.
Oh,
her audio even sped up.
Yep, it did. It went like super fast. Wait till Jenna plays that at 2 times.
It was like at chipmunk speed.
Yeah.
Played that 2 times. Oh, and Moon, if you're going to review that, well, I ain't going to call it review. If you're going to play this later, could you just put it on regular speed for the love of everything? Just, you ain't going to get struck. Just do something right once.
Or we're going to have to start talking really slow like they do so that 2 times speed will be able to still understand what we're saying. Sorry.
I mean, we'll
And
try.
stop the show and do your commentary. Don't keep talking over it. That is so rude and so annoying. I'm not being snotty. It's just, you're a horrible commentator. You're horrible.
Yeah.
I love Bugsy. It's awful. It really is.
Just shut
It
up.
really is.
Yeah, don't
Let it
quit your
play.
night job. Don't quit your night job. You're not good at it.
God. Oh, my word. Does anybody know why I say, oh, my word?
I do.
No.
I'm hoping that
I do.
we'll have another episode in the fascinating case of the key rings. Let's discuss.
Yes.
And while we're dealing with the boring, dull stuff at the start of the program, before we start having a bit of fun, I gather that somebody has been passing comment about us on Heals His Life. Could you drag the live up, please?
Yes,
Stu, I've put the link in the back.
Yes, ma'am.
And the timestamp is 1 hour 21:30.
Okay, give me
That's
just a
specific,
minute.
yeah, the half-minute mark. Yes, Heel seems to have branched out into making lives now. And the misinformation is rich. It's funny how people have started. I knew people would come round. I mean, it's people's reactions are never always what they appear.
Welcome, Jeep Girl, to membership. Thank you.
Eliza, you'll have to make sure you're sharing it too, hun. You got it? Now, Pearl, did you say 1 hour and 30 minutes?
1 hour, 21 minutes and 30 seconds is where she starts.
All right.
Just by saying that you're somebody's friend. When you're in that boat with people, you got people rowing for you, but you'll find in that boat that you got people drilling holes for you. So I think that this is a lesson that a lot of people learned, especially the subs.
Well, it just seemed like everybody was so, I've never seen anything like it, Laura.
I mean, either.
You probably have, but I mean.
No, I've never seen what did it for me coming up here and wanting to wholeheartedly, step up, to take a swing, like to hit for you. It's never okay for someone, that, well, the name's appropriate, the jerks. I'm sorry that happened to them, in the beginning, that their friendship with another creator was, not a person who they thought it was. And that's very sorry, that someone would lie about their identity enough to where they could convince a whole crew. But long story short, then the next thing, bam, out of nowhere, they took you down, and I was just out of my.
They said
it was
in
bad.
The beginning that because of what happened to them, they were going to warn everybody. Like,
what?
No,
correction.
That's not how it happened.
That's not how any of this happened. Good Lord, comprehend.
One has nothing to do with the other. This is took her down.
Damn. And this woman felt like she needed to go to bat for a racist.
Yes,
that's
let's
interesting.
not prevaricate. By all means, support her, but accept what you're supporting. Okay, to deal with what you're saying, you're trying to sell it as if we were so knocked sideways and traumatized by discovering a friend wasn't who we thought they were, that we had to warn the internet about somebody. No, the reference in the video is that we ignored truth because of the people who were presenting it. The information was out there about Lolita. We ignored the voices of people we knew were known liars. So we didn't engage with the facts until somebody we trusted came forward with information. That's the point we were making. And the way that that fits into the situation with Heels is, because it was from JLR, we immediately disregarded it and then stood there and went, hang on, just 2 weeks ago, we did this very thing of saying, well, the information is from a tainted source. It must therefore be untrue. So let's just have a look. And I went and had a look.
Oh, yeah.
Under my own steam, with my own research. And it was just an unspooling ball of terribleness.
It really was.
So that's the point I'm making. You can't disregard somebody's facts because you don't like who they are. If it's true, it will be true, regardless of who has said it. That was the point. Lolita is not an issue in this, other than we chose not to listen to people who we saw as bad actors. I see JLR as a bad actor, but you have to admit, regardless of all the negative stuff that he's done, he can turn up some information. He was a starting point, and that was all.
That was it.
Everything else was my own research. He had never posted any of all those memes. I went and got them myself. I went and looked to see what she was doing. I put a minimum amount that I possibly could in that video, and it was still 17 minutes long. If I'd have gone any further, it would have been War and Peace. And that was the limit of what I thought people's attention could possibly be. I mean, 10 minutes really is your maximum. So I was already pushing it way over the limit. But I thought that was the minimum of trying to explain what was going on. Whatever her name is, Seaglass up there.
KC Glass.
You
right.
don't have a clue what you're talking about. Don't use our situation and twist it like that because it makes you feel uncomfortable. You fundamentally, you feel uncomfortable because you know the truth of what's been said. We showed you facts.
Yeah.
You can dispute them all you want. They're all things that were actually posted. I don't believe anyone who says this was just about the facts of the case. Mocking a black woman's weave is nothing to do with the facts of the case. Digging up a woman's Facebook posts from a year before her son is killed is not dealing with the facts of the case. This is personal animosity towards these women. Harassing Kendrick's mom on Twitter is not to do with the facts of the case. It's to do with personal animosity.
Yeah.
Pants up, don't loot.
Yeah.
Swindler's list. So don't come at me with that, oh, sure, it's just about true crime. No, it's fundamentally about more than that. And you trying to create a narrative, I hate the word, but I'm going to use it.
I knew what
create a narrative that we were working out our own emotional response to being lied to by a friend and taken out on heels is pure bullshit.
Yeah.
A woman that we never watched, never had anything to do with. We're just going to take all of that out on her, some random stranger. Makes no sense.
Somebody came to us in the Discord and said, have you seen this? We had a look at it, and I had a look at the news group's page that it claimed to be from, saw that it was JLR, and went, oh, well, there you go then, JLR. And then, of course, realisation, I'm doing the same thing again. I'm judging the information based on the person saying it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, if you want to go to 2 hours 33,
yes,
please.
And let me say something before I go. I wish you knew how ridiculous you sounded when Casey, whatever. It's like, you know what? I'm going to hold off. Let me go 2 hours and 30 minutes, 30 seconds.
People don't understand people learning from their past mistakes. When we've made a mistake, we try very hard when we make a mistake to learn something from it and to change, to not repeat the same kind of mistakes. Why don't people understand that?
I don't know. Celine, I love your name. Yes, this clip is recent. This was either from last night or the night before.
21 hours ago.
21 hours ago.
So, yeah. Well, and someone said earlier they couldn't believe that the people that have went back there, and it's disgusting. It is. And I shouldn't be shocked. There are a lot of people that are comfortable with this type of. Let me hush. Let me just hush.
I just can't normalize racism like that. I can't do it. That's not okay in my daily life. I want no part of it on here either.
I'm not going to. I refuse to. We're not going to normalize it and act like, whatever.
It gets wild in there. But I think she had, I don't know if she had Cynic or Cena Wong on the other night. You can
he scares
laugh,
me
but
more than any of them. He scares me the most. I wouldn't want to meet him in a dark alley more and or Betty probably. Yeah.
And he'll go in a dark alley, even when he's a guy. Remember when he was it Idaho, the guy that he accused? And he goes, he's staring at me. He's looking at me. Don't walk towards him. Yeah.
He was funny. He was kind of funny.
Yeah.
I love how he's pointing. I like his use of props, how he points to things. I mean, like during the Carly Russell thing, I mean, he literally, which was kind of cool.
I didn't watch any of it.
He went like exactly where she pulled over and kind of went in the woods to see how she would have gotten out of there, which was like kind of cool to see.
That is.
Right?
Willow did too, right? Willow, did you not run into JLR for God's sake?
I know. That's what we were thinking that he would, because when he went back there, he found this like tunnel. He's like, maybe she went through this tunnel, and then he got like a box of Cheez-Its. He like went to Target and got Cheez-Its.
That's what he'll do, and that's
he goes that extra mile.
He loves props. Props are his thing forever.
I love props too.
Yeah,
he loves props for it.
But Willow, you have no excuse whatsoever.
Oh, do you see Casey Glass in the back?
No, I didn't. I can't.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Am I on the right spot, Pearl?
There she is. Hey.
Sorry.
Hi, ladies.
2 hours, 33 minutes.
Oh, okay. I went to 30, 2 hours.
I can't see the actual time on there, darling. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
It just takes one gimmick.
Yeah, that's his thing.
He discovered.
Oh, he's had a couple of viral, but that's what he wants. That's why I don't like
exactly.
Yeah, he kind of. I mean, there has to be a certain amount of like with people like JLR, like things that celebrities like kind of, or people like actors, for example, like that they like the attention. They like to kind of like do a show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he kind of,
and that's why he does it.
Yeah.
I mean, he advertises himself well.
Oh yeah.
So many people know who JLR is.
He believes in himself.
Yeah, I mean, he puts his name everywhere. Like,
yeah, and his clothes. Yeah.
Well, what do you say, Ellie? We say believe in yourself, and good things just.
I mean, that's why you got to just like, I mean, if he's not like doing anything bad, like he served his time, whatever. I mean,
well, he just kind of did something bad to me. In fact,
you're right.
I was going to show y'all tonight, but I didn't.
The scenes too, I think a lot more than anybody knows. I feel like
since August, and I have the tweets pulled up, but the jerks, they got all that information from him, and I have it all in tweets.
Lies.
There's like 6 of them, and it has
I believe it.
That is a damn lie.
Lady, I'm going to embarrass your whole soul. If there's one to embarrass, you're going to keep on lying, and I'm just going to keep on your neck. I see your title, Heels on Your Neck. It ain't on mine. No, ma'am. Your lies, that's
absolute bullshit. I did a load of research. I spent hours researching this. I spent hours screenshotting things and cutting things down. How you would make 6 tweets into a nearly 18-minute video. He doesn't. The only thing of JLR's that we looked at was the original tweet.
That's it.
Yep.
And then it went from there. Nothing else was JLR.
Oh, he did. He sparked curiosity.
Yes. Proving the link between the video that you had and the original video that was on Renewsit's blog was the process that I went through myself. And I showed people how I did it in that video. That was nothing to do with JLR or a tweet. You say that because you're trying to devalue the reality and truth of what was said, because you know that people think negatively of JLR. So did we. That's not going to cover it for you. Whether he's involved or not doesn't change the things that you wrote and the things that you think and the behaviour that you're displaying now. The way that you have turned on Dietz. Dietz was just a forum for people to express their opinions on what they'd seen. People's opinions are their own. Dietz was just a forum.
That was it.
It's like blaming, I don't know.
God almighty. Let's see what else this idiot says. And you all over there, this is I'm embarrassed for y'all.
I believe it. He does a lot of that kind. I'm not saying, he does
I can
that
laugh
stuff.
at him, but I can also go back and look at the tweets.
Yeah, just to remember what he does.
He was steady trying, and he did a lot of things. But I wish he would just, and it's not a big deal once your name's out there, whatever. Because I didn't want the crazy people from before, and that's what I didn't want to happen. And he was trying to contact him. But
no, what you didn't want to happen is you look like the way that you are. That's what you didn't want to happen. You can try to make this about a dox or whatever. You should have known, Hills, because this is how I feel, that there is something deeper there with you and JLR that we don't know. It's just some type of vibe I'm getting. You should have known. You coming out here has another, I'm going to expose all the tragedy pimps, that your shit was going to come out, especially if you knew JLR. And I feel like y'all know each other. What do y'all think?
I think that they probably did know each other. It seems to be bizarrely personal, much more than just her making little videos about him.
Yeah.
And I think you also continue to show your true colours when you maintain that you're disgusted by people making money off tragedy, and then you're cash-apping Ziggy.
Yes. What are you doing? You are really looking like a fool out here. Ziggy was one of the people you clowned on, made videos on, but because she's doing some type of that stupid vote people off the island bull crap that
you wanted to dig at Six Up, so you gave Ziggy money.
$5. You're cheap. $5.
Yeah, cash apps and cheap remarks to somebody who the most deluded person would admit is a tragedy pimp within the case of Summer Wells. And you were all in for it because it was about what you thought was getting over on someone that you had an issue with. As it was, you were paying money to Ziggy to do something that Six Up wanted to happen. So more fool you. But you didn't know that. And you were quite happy to go along with it. And instantly, you showed everybody exactly why it is true that you harassed Kendrick's mother, because this is the behaviour. You feel that you've been slighted personally, and it's a vendetta. You showed your hand to the world.
Oh, boom. You did. And I don't know how people don't see it. I believe y'all are being willfully ignorant, or you're lost and misguided, thinking that this woman is some type of YouTube celebrity. She's not. Oh my God, please get it together. She is not that special. Lord, what is wrong with some of these people? And they believe what she's saying. Like, they really believe it.
Well, they certainly appear to present themselves as if they believe. Look, if she's your racist friend that you just happen to like and you ignore what she says, like a drunk uncle or that one relative we've all got, that's fine. You can like her and carry on hanging around with her. You can even pretend that you don't really know what this is all about. But just remember that people know, they can see it.
Mm-hmm.
You're comforting yourself by attacking other people. People do it all the time.
And
but the reality is nothing was shown about her that she didn't write. I saw somebody write in the chat, well, she's not racist. I didn't see any racism. I didn't look at the memes, but well, there you go then. You didn't look at the most pertinent information of her racism outside the details of a case. So you didn't see it. Well, there you go. It's funny what you don't see when you don't look.
When you don't look. And you're also comforting yourself by telling yourself that this is about JLR. No, it really isn't. Oh, this was something that he planned and plotted and he won. My God, if I hear that one more time. Or it was about a dox, that people wanted her to dox herself. Come on, you're really lying to yourself at this point.
They are, which they can do, but just don't try and project onto us something that wasn't happening. Hey, JD in the chat.
Hey.
And Dietz makes a excellent point here, and it is true. There was stuff that we could have really went in and really,
seriously.
but it was, we said, let's stop. That's enough. People get the idea. I mean, why do we have to just really pile a mountain on it when it's there? You know, people are going to support it or not support it with what we had shown. We didn't need to.
Yeah, we showed a pathway, and what you decided to do after that, how far you decided to go down the rabbit hole was up to you. We could have made that. Yeah, it could have been worse than that. I don't want to destroy her. It was interesting to me that she had this one reputation in this corner of the internet that was so different from the reputation that she'd built up in another corner of the internet. And now I think I'm pretty much done with talking about her, and I'd prefer to move on to something more mockable. I can't find the humour, even at her expense, with what is fundamentally racism. And I don't care if you've got an issue with me using that word, you're just going to have to get over it.
You really are. And you can stop with the Lolita bullshit. It's not like we said, you know what, guys, consciously or subconsciously, we're really struggling here with Lolita lying to us. Who can we, Hills, that's what we'll do. Come on. Think about how stupid that sounds. Say it out loud to yourself.
It is really stupid. And talking of stupid things, it's interesting, isn't it, that this deep friendship that had developed between certain creators and people in Alita's life seems to have gone quiet. And the whole sort of parental alienation thing seems to have died in bud.
It's funny. I thought she was going to investigate this and really, research parental alienation. But the people, hey, Angel, the people that I guess were her, going to help her out with that, they just kind of disappeared. Gee, they weren't needed.
I'm waiting for the information on all of us. We're all criminals, and most of us are drug addicts. Show me the receipts.
Show me the receipt. You ain't got none, dummy.
Where's the receipt?
Welcome, A Mac, kind of a jerk.
Where do you want to go next? Do you want me to pull up this Ziggy video?
Yes.
It's not the one you're thinking of. We can discuss the whole title to this show, but this is spectacular. Ziggy has always been a money grabber. Sorry, you're going to have to deal with my frankness tonight. I love at the point of exploding over music copyright, and I'm in the spicy mood.
You're not going to show her ass, are you?
I think somebody probably is later, but that's not this one.
She does a fine job of that.
This is the commercial break that Ziggy is showing in her lives, and also a little bit on the end that I've put on.
Louder! Show me the money! That's it, brother, but you got to yell that shit! Show me the money! I need to feel you, Jerry! Show me the money! Jerry, you better yell! Show me the money!
Okay!
Isn't that the truth?
The manipulation. You're going to save me. I want to keep this channel going.
Me. You're going to save me. Jam 420. You're going to pay me while you're windmilling. I cannot, y'all. This
the only thing missing from that is little Ziggy coming out saying, "Please, Mama, can I have some more?"
That was, I missed it. Yes, John, this is real. This idiot. Oh
Yeah,
my.
there wasn't, none of that was a skit. It was the actual advert, then a little thing that said translation that I put in, and then I put the show me the money thing on the end. But that first bit is all a thing that Ziggy is actually running during her lives. Obviously, things are getting pretty desperate. I mean, not so desperate that she'd consider getting a job, if anybody heard the conversation. In fact, actually, do you want me to upload that clip where they're trying to convince her to get a job? Because I can.
Yes, I want y'all to listen to the tone in Ziggy's voice here.
Well, carry on talking while I do that. But
yeah.
I think we're getting to the stage now where we're just months away from Ziggy Aid, with Benny Keys pretending to be Bob Geldof, slapping his fist down on the desk and saying, "Give me your fucking money."
No doubt. Yes, in the arms of an angel.
Yes.
Listen, y'all. This
little Zig dressed up like Tiny Tim, the little cup.
Yeah.
I want y'all to listen to Ziggy's voice drop when people actually make sense and be like, "Hey, Ziggy, have you ever thought about getting a job from home?"
Blasphemy.
Listen. She almost ends the live. Okay. She's completely distraught. Don't talk to her about a job. But Pearl's uploading it.
It's just processing, so be ready any second.
That I can't believe that intermission though. She is really like
it really is something, isn't it?
Oh wow.
All right, listen to Ziggy's voice change.
If you don't mind talking to people over the phone, you could get a job at working at home. And I'm not taking the side of what some people post online. Goodness, I saw that or that live or that posting earlier today. Anyway, I'm just suggesting because you keep or you occasionally will say that you want a job and that you're looking for one where you can work at home.
My
Working in a
sister-in-law
call center is home centric now, and you have the voice, you have the professional tone.
Absolutely, Ziggy. My sister-in-law does it, and she's making a lot of money. She's working for Bank of America.
Yeah, I definitely.
I can get the information for you if you'd like.
Yeah, sure.
I'll find out from her.
I mean, I have some credentials and stuff. I mean, I just haven't had a job since.
Well, the good thing about that, it wouldn't be much different than this. You're just going to be talking to a few grouchy people.
I've always worked for myself.
And you just working on the computer.
I always had Jim's backing though, so
well,
I did really well actually with resale for a long time. And
I think she's making like $17 or $20 an hour.
Yeah,
working for Bank of America.
I'm sure it's like 20. I wouldn't be able to work for anything less than 20s.
Well, I'll get the information.
I don't know.
Yeah, because you bring so much skill to this.
Because you know.
I mean, gosh, you can go over to McDonald's now and make like
you make more than what you make at McDonald's.
Yeah.
You make more than what you make at McDonald's.
So you, I think that would be great for you because you could stay at home and you could do that.
Earlier, we also talked
that, and even if you just did it part time.
Selling feet pics.
Do what?
Only fan feet pics. Oh, no, fans like
don't knock it
with feet pics.
I make a killing.
But also, because earlier we were also talking about how somebody was trying to say that, was trying to spread a rumor that Candace was on OnlyFans or something. And then they mentioned something about her feet, like on YouTube. She did that video with her feet.
Stop trying to change the subject, bitch. I know what you're doing.
She immediately went over to talking about money with, making money without actually doing any work. Did you notice that? She just switched it over to let's take a picture of something and put it online.
She said, listen, everybody shut up. Don't talk to me about working a job. The tone in her voice completely changed. She's like, I haven't worked in 20 years. Yeah. She ain't going to work. Okay. Yes. Only feats. Don't knock it. Ziggy, do something. Look, you're on live all day talking about the same old boring, redundant stuff. Set you up a webcam, get your feet fixed, and put it on OnlyFans. At least you're making something.
Right? That's an honest living.
Very honest.
I mean, let's face it, she's got somebody else making her begging commercial. So there's no way she's actually going to do anything herself. So if you'd like to send your photographs of feet into Ziggy so she can use them on OnlyFans. She'll be looking for somebody with a nice pedicure. Oh, what's that?
Sorry, hold on.
Please hold.
Sorry, it was funny. It wasn't me this time. Every time mine goes off, everybody's like, who is playing Looney Tunes?
Speaking of people taking care of themselves, I believe that Pooh made a very nice little video about Brenda's beaver.
We have to wait till Soup is back for that.
Sorry?
We have to wait till Soup is back for that.
Yes, we will. I'll just get the link, though, while we're waiting. It was funny, though, listening to the response that she gave them when they started talking about a job, because we've all been there.
Yep.
If every time that you suggest a solution to somebody, they just... You don't really want an answer, do you? You just would like some dollars pressed into your little paw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, any way you suggested that she get a job to make money, she had a way why that wouldn't work. Why it just needed to be, people just handing money to her for nothing is how she prefers to pay her rent.
Yes, TPE, very similar to Nita. Both of them have an allergy to employment.
Or didn't she say she had to have a certain amount of money to go to work? Seems to me.
She has to make at least $20 an hour.
But wouldn't $1 an hour be more than what she's making?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
that's true.
$1 an hour is better than $0 an hour.
Yeah, she's not a big fan of.
Velvet Fox makes an interesting point, actually.
Oh, that's true. That is so true.
Yes. John.
I said that too.
Oh dear, John has got a great sense of humour. Seriously, I know that he's sort of wondering about the next step that he's going to make with his channel, but seriously, subscribe. I know it will be entertaining. Oh, Six Up is saying if you want to send her a link, she can screen share.
Tanga.
John getting some appreciative laughs there in the chat. Hey,
Yeah, I can do that. I'll go ahead and send that to her.
Did you know that while you were out enjoying yourself last night, oh no, I can't. Was it General? Oh, it was Perp. Perp was trying to sort of entice you over there to go and talk shit on the channel because she seemed to think that you'd got some sort of terrible strike against you when it was just a copyright thing because you were playing music. It was a very, very strange live, wasn't it?
Really was.
I wonder what they're spraying on the crops over there, because the contact high that that Perp was on was quite something. Monsanto need to reel it back a bit.
Right.
She really thought that something had happened.
Tanga,
What
that
was
was
that?
Tanga's. That was
Oh, right.
Tanga's dog. Her dog starts stalking when she hears.
She's not getting the
Tanga.
attention she wants.
She's like, "Who the hell are you talking to? I'm right here. You're not making sense, Mom."
She's like, "You're not even looking at me."
Yeah, Velvet Fox, it was very peculiar, wasn't it? I think that if, as she says, YouTube isn't paying now as a gig, it's time to do a voice reel for cartoons. There must be some work there, I would have thought.
Right, I think that's it. And it just hits different in the basement.
I agree, checking convictions. And you would think somebody who's been running a show, a channel, as long as Perp has now, would have a clue about that. I think she was just really, really hoping that something had gone badly for Six Up, and there was Six out there enjoying the night of her life.
Soup's imitations are usually spot on.
Soup's imitation of the fake laugh was, I had to mute, it was just killing me.
Magpie! Hey, how you doing, hon? Good to see you.
Have you won a prize yet, Magpie, or have you been banned from the competition?
Yeah, she got DQ'd the moment she knew the answer. As soon as she said the right answer, she was disqualified.
I see you've still got your full name. Did you decide to keep it for good?
And Soup ditched us. You see that? She just...
That's the truth, Perp was trying to tell YouTube about itself. She suddenly decided that YouTube's not worth it.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Is that Tanga with no clothes on again?
It's always Tanga. Always Tanga.
And if you didn't catch
her feathers have fallen off.
Yes. If you didn't catch Soup's live when it was actually live earlier today, go back, because her impersonations of Perp are just so good. You don't want to
They're
miss
so good.
Oh, wait. I think I see a few feathers. I think only 90% of her feathers have fallen out.
I think Six Up got the wrong link. It was
she got the wrong link.
I sent another.
Try the other one, Six. Try the other one.
So I really didn't think I was going to make it, but I did.
We're glad you did.
Has your cat destroyed anything today?
Oh my gosh, her cat, you guys. Her cat is so naughty. It is so naughty.
You ought to see I wish I could have seen my own face when I walked in the door yesterday from work. There was a whole roll. I mean, like the double, triple roll toilet paper, the really good kind, was totally shredded all the way to the roll in my living room floor.
Not the good kind.
Yes.
It was shredded with it took its little sharp razor claws and just made mince out of the TP.
Yeah. It was everywhere. It took me 30 minutes to clean it all up. And
it was like toilet paper confetti, man. Toilet paper confetti.
As soon as he saw me, he took off running. He was like, oh, hell, there she is. Oh, my God. Yeah. He had it strode everywhere. I texted my husband. I said, this cat comes from hell to kill me. I know he does.
And he's got such a beautiful, innocent little face.
Don't let that fool you, Pearl.
Talking about to control animals.
we got Six here with her screen to share with us.
Hi, ladies. Hi, chat. I'll just be here
Six.
to press play whenever you need it.
Hi, Sid.
I think we're ready now, aren't we? We're waiting for Soup to come back. Soup can always catch it later.
Yeah, she'll catch it on the replay.
Yeah, she had to take a call.
All right.
Brenda's beaver needs a barber. Brenda has a beaver and she's ready to confess. As soft and sweet as it may be, her beaver is a mess. Brenda's beaver's big, Brenda's beaver's hairy. Every guy who's seen it says that Brenda's beaver's scary. Brenda took her beaver for a swim down at the lake. By the looks that she received, she figured that was a mistake. She stuffed that furry mound into a swimming suit. It stuck out all around. It was anything but cute. Some who saw it laughed, others were just stunned. Brenda's beaver was hanging out, soaking up the sun. Her friends could not believe her. They said, we need to talk. They covered up her beaver and they took her for a walk. Brenda, dear, listen here. We want to help you out. Your beaver needs a makeover. It really needs it now. I hope we don't seem pushy, said her biker friend named Kim. Your beaver is too bushy. We just think it needs a trim. Savannah pulled her beaver back to show off what she'd done. Hers has a nice long landing patch. It looks like it'd be fun. Chrissy's beaver is quite rare. It could be worth $1 million. Hers is bare. It has no hair. Her beaver is Brazilian. Catherine let her beaver loose. She said, there's nothing to it. Grab some clippers and a can of mousse. We'll show you how to do it. Kim produced some scissors and Chrissy had some wax. Now all that Brenda had to do was sit back and relax. As they came towards her beaver, they said, now don't be scared. We're going to see what's underneath that frumpy pile of hair. It ended in just minutes. They didn't leave her much. When Brenda's friends were finished, she and her beaver blushed. Her beaver was so tiny, they could not believe their eyes. It was smooth and it was shiny. It was hard to recognize. Now Brenda is so proud. It seems like every time we see her, she's in the center of a crowd, just showing off her beaver.
Oh dear, Pooh. And I also saw in the comments that Pooh's next story involves helping Jack off a horse.
Wow, that's nice. That's really nice.
Stop that.
Poor Jack stuck on a horse. Yes, the 70s called they'd like their beaver back.
Thank
Black
you for the
Belt
super
BB,
chat.
thank you.
Black Belt BB.
The somebody's called, they'd like their beaver back.
Right, Heather? She could be behind the Dollar General showing off her beaver.
And what was the other thing? She's here. What was the other thing that you wanted to screen share?
The other thing, I didn't know whether we wanted to do it now or wait until the end, which was Matthew's video.
Oh, that's right.
Was there anything else? Actually, if 60's here, might as well do it now.
Right.
Let me get that link.
And Six said, "You're allowed to talk. You're not just technical."
I don't have much of a voice right now. I was screaming a lot last night. So.
Oh.
Do you know what? I loved the fact that while they thought that they were all getting one up on you, you were out there having the time of your life. It was just was so poetic to know that.
I really was, and it was an amazing, like, that band anyway is dear to me, and the things that David, the lead singer of Disturbed, shared last night were just amazing to me.
Yeah, when you said about everybody raising their hands, the amount of people who raised their hands when he spoke to the crowd, that was very moving.
Thank you, Mama Jerk.
Yay,
Love
Mama
you,
Jerk.
mean it.
But yeah, I looked at other cities where he shared it too, and it's just a profound experience when somebody says, raise your hands if you've been affected by addiction or depression, and almost everybody in an arena raises their hand, and then they tell you, take a look around because you're not alone. And to me, it's just, yeah, it's good shit. That's what it's about. All right, so I'm sharing this video. Matthew is silly.
That's right.
AF.
This is a video that Matthew is silly AF made, and it's a serious video, but it's also poetic. And he's talking about the Summer Wells case, but he's not talking about it from a true crime aspect. He's talking about it through the lens of the culture of the true crime community and the way that things that they've done and the way that they've made this story develop. It's just listen to it anyway and see what you think.
In the realm, screens cast a hypnotic spell. A tragedy unfolded, a story to tell. A child's innocence lost, a community in despair. But YouTube's influence tainted.
Can we
the air.
pull that back and turn it
Summer
up if
Wells,
it's at all
Amber
possible?
Alert rang clear, a call for help, a plea. In the realm where screens.
I have it up all the way up.
This seems to be a problem. Somebody was having the same problem StreamYard before.
You want me to try it again? Let me try it
please.
again. Yeah, no problem. Try it one more time. I'm going to actually pull it up again just to make sure, because, yeah, I don't deal with StreamYard. Somebody actually asked me something today about StreamYard, and I really don't have any clue, guys. I use Restream for my streams, but they look almost the same to me. So I will, yeah, it's up all the way, and I'll try it again.
In the realm where screens cast their hypnotic spell, a tragedy unfolded, a story to tell. A child's innocence lost, a community in despair. But YouTube's influence tainted the air. The Summer Wells Amber Alert rang clear, a call for help, a plea for her to reappear. But the platform's echo chamber took its toll, distorting the facts, consuming the soul. Unbridled theories like weeds they grew, twisting reality, obscuring the true. armchair investigators spun their tales, while the heart-wrenching truth seemed to pale. The algorithm fed on sensational fear, views and clicks, the digital veneer. Genuine concern gave way to wild speculation, as YouTube's allure led to a skewed foundation. Misguided voices drowned out the plea, the search for summer lost in the sea of content creators vying for fame, their narratives turning reality lame. The Amber Alert's urgency began to wane, lost in the midst of the online domain. A family's anguish and a child's fate, overshadowed by the clickbait. Yet, let us learn from this cautionary tale to navigate the digital landscape's trail. Seek truth beyond the screen's allure. Hold compassion and empathy pure. May summer's memory remind us to be responsible in the way we see. For in the quest for justice and light, let empathy guide our every online fight.
That's the first time I've seen it. You did a great job.
You did do a
Did you write
fantastic
that?
job, Matthew.
It was spot on.
It was spot on. And it's amazing that the most perceptive views of what is going on in this community are coming from people who are on the periphery of it.
Yeah.
Eliza, you got wind noise.
Sorry, it's my fan. It's so hot. I'm sorry.
You're good. Is it
I bet
really
it
hot
is.
there?
I've seen the temperatures over there and I could not deal with it at all.
I know we were really blessed last night, guys. The temperature was like 78 and it was like misting a little when we got there and it stayed cool all night. I'm so grateful for that.
I'm glad it was as well because heat is one thing. Heat in a crowd.
And I
can
definitely
be
couldn't
very
have stayed.
dangerous.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to stay. And I even thought that when we got the tickets, like, and he knew that too, like I would not be able, and we had lawn tickets too. So we were out in the sun, but it was beautiful. We got ponchos and brought them and it sprinkled a little on the way in and that was it. It was great.
I'm so glad you had a great night. And I really enjoyed actually. I'd never heard of Ginger until you played that piece yesterday. And she is phenomenal. The range on that woman, from the sweetest singing to the complete rage shout. Where on earth does she get that from? She doesn't look big enough to create that sound.
Yeah, it's even more amazing in person. She blew me away. They all did. They all sounded amazing.
Magpie.
Oh my God, that's JBT's
Who let her
mom.
in here? I thought she was blocked. Always unblocking her. Oh, Magpie.
I agree, checking convictions. I don't think that they will change. Yes, JBT's mum. Fuck yeah.
There goes Haven.
I think a lot of people were confused about your title and they actually got to Google it today. I seen somebody in my Discord say something about it too. And I really got a lot of enjoyment out of that because I too had to Google it. And I was like, oh, I know exactly who they're talking about.
I made the thumbnail for the people that need a picture.
Right.
Have we reached that stage of the evening? It's after midnight here. I don't know what time it is where you are. You still might want to
7
cover the
PM
eyes
here.
of any children.
That's right.
Are we showing Pooh's video or?
I mean, I think you have to, don't you? Like,
I think that's where we start, right?
Let me grab it.
Let's get into it. Hopefully not as deep as she did, but. Yeah, I couldn't help myself with the title. I apologize. I figured Purple would think it was a YouTuber she hadn't heard of.
I see the title. I always see the title and go, okay, Tanga's really challenging me on the thumbnail. Watch this.
Okay, put the link in the
hold
back.
my Coke Zero.
Hold my Coke
Thank
Zero.
you.
The chat can hate me later. You won't be thanking me, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it real good and big for you guys too. So,
a treat.
I think God got there first, making it big.
All right, I'm pressing play.
Through, and know, and they're gonna be over time. They're gonna be realizing.
All we saw was leg,
I just
darling.
went up and just all they saw his leg.
All we got was leg.
Oh
Big
shit!
leg.
Okay,
See, you did it again. Leg.
I know because I was trying to see what showed.
Itchy butt? It could be your toilet paper. Stop using toilet paper to wipe and start using water. The Genie Bidet cleans your bottom with a gentle stream of water. Water is so much healthier for your butt than wiping with scratchy toilet paper. After you turn off the bidet, pat dry with a hand towel or washcloth. Be itch-free without TP.
How much do I love that there was actual poo on the bath towel there?
Yes, it's the little things. For those of you who've got no idea what that was about, during a live where Pandrew, the famous Pandrew, was up on her panel, Ziggy forgot that her camera was on, or that her camera had accidentally come on, and of course, famously pantless Ziggy decided to stand up and do something. And then when she realized the camera was on, she then did it again in order to check how much people could see. That's logic for you. God forbid you could use your phone to look at your own show and rewind slightly so you could see, no, let's stand up again and scratch our ass in front of the camera.
She's a class act.
She did it on purpose. That's what I think. I don't think that she forgot at all. I think
I have made this point earlier on.
She's like, I'm so broke, I can't afford pants. Send your donations now.
I was even more base than that. I thought that it was because it was Andrew who was up there, a man who notoriously likes the chunkier woman who doesn't care about housework. I thought she thought that he might be interested in a few cash apps and possibly conversation.
But like, if you're gonna do that, like, choose somebody that at least has a job. Pandrew isn't known for employment.
Right, Gemini Slacker? That might be worth $20 on OnlyFans. Ziggy, keep it for the tips.
We've all been trying to tell her about like OnlyFans for quite a while. She's really desperate. Exactly, TT. Why doesn't she just go ahead and go on OnlyFans? I mean, it'd be a perfect gig for her. Perfect.
She's already in her panties on the internet.
That's right.
Oh, is this a new prediction by Mediocre Mermaid, or is this a repeat of the old one? Oh Lord.
Well, the mermaid was so right about Jason, so I'm sure she's right about this too.
I believe that the live was called something like Facts and Misinformation About Summer Wells, which really could be the title of any of Ziggy's lives, but was the title of a specific one about 4 days ago. It's two men, one older and one younger. Okay. Bugsy seems to know a lot about this.
She does. She has all the details.
Yeah, what's up with that, Bugsy? Sitting over there on mute with all the details.
I was bored, and I was watching that fat ass walrus.
I love when she says that. It's just, it's so out of character for her. It cracks me up.
oh my gosh. She
Well,
got all
I went and
excited when
clicked
they
in
said
and
she was coming into money. I was like, all right.
of course she did. But that 3-minute intermission translation is exactly how Pearl made it in the end. That was the perfect clip. That is exactly what just show me the money.
It was so honest too. Your money is the only reason I'm here.
Yep.
And see, the mystical mermaid lady told her also that the older man, he was better off. I was like, of course. And that's the one she's like, well, but I bet she rethinks that.
Yeah, she's looking for an older man with a weak heart who scares easily.
Exactly that.
One has
I'm
hair
laughing,
and one
but let's
doesn't.
face it, it's not funny, it's true.
It is true. It's gross too. It's not why you look for someone.
The manipulative music on that little commercial that she's made, her 3-minute intermission, is quite something. Somebody must have spent a lot of time looking for a suitable song. And the whole thing about you can save me, you know, you're the only people that understand me is just so full on manipulation. I mean, it's right up there with these sort of Sunday shows by evangelists in these mega churches. It's cult territory, really.
It is. So
stand the mega
people
churches.
will feel bad now if they have an interest in finding summer.
Correct.
Okay, that's what it equals down to. If they have an interest in finding summer, they believe if they don't support whoever the content creator is, that they're therefore not helping and find summer. You're wrong. You're actually hurting summer. But
yep, I agree.
What were people's thoughts on it coming out that Fred hadn't actually passed the polygraph? They said
really
they used the term "no opinion," and that actually sort of translates as inconclusive. So he didn't pass.
I find it interesting that it was being sent around to several different content creators as well. And of course, Ziggy and a couple others put it out like immediately. But when it like came about, I got it. I received it as well. And it's just really strange to me when I heard people say that they're always that the subscribers are always going to want to hear this information. And these content creators know that they don't, you don't care how you get it, right? You just want the information. My question to you is, why do you need to know all this information about Fred and Laura's life? Or any of these people's lives?
I don't.
Yeah. I just don't
I don't
understand
wanna
it.
know.
They're clearly active addiction and they have a problem, right? We knew that from the get. Didn't Don say that right away? There was a drug problem down the street, people pulling in and out, people, we know all this stuff. How many times?
Yeah, it really concerns me that I don't know Laura, obviously, but she maintains that she's been clean for a certain amount of time, and it doesn't strike me as a good idea to be giving her money. Now, I know that she's in a difficult situation, and I don't know what the solution to that is, but I think anonymously, anonymously sending
treatment
money
will get her all underwear and everything. If she goes into treatment, they'll see to it that she has underwear. Ziggy doesn't need to provide that.
She's not going to quit, by the way, just because she wants to. That's almost impossible. You very rarely ever hear it. Well, I just woke up one day and I was like, I'm going to stop that. It's not how it works with addiction. So the fact that she hasn't done anything, like gone to treatment, should show people exactly what she's all about, in my opinion.
Treatment could solve a lot of problems for her. One, the addiction problem. Two, some of the legal trouble she's gotten herself into. They like to see that you've gone on your own to go get treatment. It would solve the only having one pair of underwear. They will make sure that you're fed and that you have clean clothes to put on while you're receiving treatment. They will help you get on your feet and get your life in the right direction. You just have to want it.
Yep.
And sadly, I think that there's a point where Ziggy's not interested in encouraging Lorna to go into treatment because she won't be able to communicate with her.
That's exactly it. She won't have
You're so
access
spot
to her.
on, Pearl.
But if she really cared, that's what you'd want for Laura.
At that point, when the information came out and it was said that in an interview about a different subject, that Fred revealed that he knew things about the scene of death that he shouldn't have been able to know. That is really intriguing. And that is why they gave him a polygraph. It wasn't to do with Summer at all. I know that Ziggy maintains that he's a very honest man. I think she could be in for a few surprises.
An honest meth dealer.
What is very honest to Ziggy though?
Is that a thing? An honest
This
drug
is
dealer?
a very good point. Six makes an excellent point. I find it intriguing, actually, that the autopsy for Cotton said that he had very high amounts of methamphetamine in his blood. Who do we know? Who do we know who's recently been arrested for distributing? Who seems to know a lot about the situation that Cotton ended up in?
Another good point that people should bring up, Ziggy took her child to Fred Hill's house multiple times. Wasn't Fred Hill, by a grand jury of his peers, indicted for housing a dwelling where he manufactured methamphetamine? Now, he has not been found guilty of that yet, but we've heard the whispers. Yeah, these are the charges. These are the whispers and the rumors that we've heard for 2 years. We see it in real time when we see Fred and Laura interact, right? Ziggy's never denied that they take drugs. She tries to downplay it a lot, but she's never denied it. That to me is really insane that she took her. I've always thought about that. For Ziggy to go there, I understand. Okay. You go there because you're an adult, you're a YouTube creator, you want whatever you want. But she took her child there. There are some very bad things that could have happened while she was down there. And thank God they didn't. But none of that really gets talked about. It's just, give me more. I want more. I want more. People don't care what amount of harm's way other children are put into as long as they get to hear the latest gossip and rumor.
Yeah, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but even apart from the actual drug aspect, I believe that they are physically dangerous places to be. Don't a lot of them explode and catch fire? Given
yes,
that manufacturing
that's all
is
I could think about.
Yeah.
That's all I could think about, Pearl, the whole time. I don't know how many experiences I've had with that and heard of people losing their lives because of that. That's the first thing you think of when you think of manufacturing. I've seen people that drive around and have, kits in their cars and have gotten busted with it. Cars that have exploded, trailers that have exploded, the middle of the woods that explode. And I'm talking the fire from these explosions, the smoke that it creates. When you see that for yourself with your own eyes,
it's toxic. It's toxic too.
Yes, it is so bad. And yeah, not just that. Think about the people that are protecting those people. I mean, I've been down in the middle of, I'm not even going to say in Kentucky, but there's men with AKs up in trees watching people. This happens all over the Appalachia and in the country. They're watching for people to come in. And it's just not safe. It would be the same as taking your kid just anywhere that you would. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it, especially with a target on me like that. And to me, I feel like these creators have targets on their back. With the Bones situation, I feel like he knew she was coming. He seen Molly and the hog crew down there. And they made this up. They did it. It was a joke to them. And that tells me everything about who they are. like bones, and Ziggy was so excited over them bones, y'all.
Yeah, I remember it very well. I don't think Tiffany covered herself in glory either. Her outrage was so fake. Her outrage was she had the image on her screen share. So you weren't that appalled, were you? You still managed to make something out of it. I find it bizarre that you would be involved in the situation, even if you don't understand what's an animal bone and what's a human bone. You would think somebody who lived in the countryside and existed like Fred does would know. And therefore, he was leading you down a path. How then do you develop from that a friendship with him where you trust what he says? Or are you just convincing yourself that you believe what he says because it's convenient for you to believe?
I think that it is a way for her to produce views, is what I think. I think even if she believed that she didn't believe Fred, she wouldn't tell people that because that would hinder her grift.
I agree with you. I think there's a certain performative aspect in supporting him at the moment. And then I imagine that if something more comes out, it'll be her devastation at how she was sort of manipulated. And she'll be wanting to tell a story about that. So I was just reading Lily's comment about Northern Maine. People disappear. Yikes.
Yeah. Like, I mean, the woods to me are even to me in the places that I've been around. I've been a lot of places. I have been more scared in the woods of the Appalachia than I've ever been scared inner city. And that's the truth. So I completely believe that people just disappear everywhere. And why aren't we talking about them people that disappear instead of the same? And I'm not taking away from Summer. We all love Summer. But how come we're not talking about the other Summers? How come you guys just stay on Summer? I mean, I know the answer already. I'm just,
right. They haven't been able to figure out how to put a dollar sign on them yet. As soon as they do, they'll get on that.
I have somebody in the chat saying that they would believe Fred over Jodie Sue. I think that's probably right, but I wouldn't say that's much of a claim. Jodie Sue seems to embellish and change and add new things all the time. We're 2 years on, and now she's suddenly remembered about the kids going to dope houses and having injured faces and injured heads. How the hell does that happen? How did you
forget
remember
that? How does that ever leave your mind?
Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah, those were probably some of the first things I would have been saying when I come out to talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And why didn't you tell anybody at the time? I don't understand how her brain works at all. I've never found her believable. I'm sorry, I just haven't. From the moment that I saw that she was already broadcasting on Facebook about all sorts of things, that she wants to be a voice that's heard, and it doesn't really matter what she's talking about. She wants to be somebody. She wants her opinion out there. She wants her opinion listened to. And that was true before Summer disappeared, and it's become more true since Summer disappeared. Summer has just become the means for her to get publicity. And when she talks about tragedy pimps, I find it astonishing because Jodie Sue, of all people, is one of the few people on here making money, apart from her parents, who actually knew Summer. And yet she's here every day spewing her stories and Cash App pinned to the top of her chat. She's the original tragedy pimp.
I agree, and I don't think she'd have any of those. Well, in fact, I know she wouldn't have not any of those subscribers if she didn't talk about Summer.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely. I almost wish that I wish that the police would just the law enforcement would come out and shut her down and just say, disregard anything that Jodie Sue Brown says. There is no proof. There's no evidence of any of it. And I agree with Tits's comment here as well. Let me highlight that. If anything, Jodie Sue said is true. She's screwed the case more than YouTubers because she's no longer a credible witness. The defense will destroy her. They absolutely will, because they will dig out every inconsistency in the stories that she's told, the way that they conflict with each other, the fact that she never went to law enforcement. It will all come out whether she's had any involvement with giving information, or whether she's had any involvement with Don and Candace as far as selling, supplying, taking, whatever. They will destroy her on the stand. At the very least, she's messed up any jury pool going forward by confusing them with all this stuff, because there'll be so many people who have to say, when they're asked, have you heard anything about this case? So many people have heard so much via YouTube that it will limit the jury pool.
I'm very curious to see if and when all of this does end up in a court of law, how many YouTubers will be brought in because of their constant need to be involved.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would think specifically Benny and Cher, who are so personally involved with the parents. It's going to be incredible because they will either all be called in or none of them will, and then there'll be uproar. I don't know which way it'll
I
go.
think none. I think none. I don't think that the state of Tennessee thinks any of them people are credible. I think they're onto them and been onto them. They've spoke openly about how they think YouTubers have interfered with this case. And you very rarely hear things like that from law enforcement where they'll speak openly about social media interfering. And he wasn't it Ronnie Lawson himself?
Yes.
Who said, yeah, YouTube is interfering. I'm not going to quote him, but yeah, he hasn't said a lot, but he said that. He said that. And yeah, Prayer Garden is one of the worst. I agree with the chat. She needs more coverage. I think she's got more to come.
Don't you feel that Ronnie Lawson also has a personal beef with YouTube, holding him kind of like accountable or bringing attention to the fact of
I think
the
all law
nonsense
enforcement
that
have
went
an issue
on with his own son? You
yeah,
know? They
don't
did
think that
point that
law
out pretty
enforcement-
loud and clear.
I don't think law enforcement will want the involvement of any YouTubers. My concern is that any defense for any person who eventually has to answer in court for this, and there may not be a trial, but if there is, my concern is that the defense will use the storylines that YouTubers have created and expounded to muddy the waters and
will be
make
a
it so
defense.
that it's to question, to create the question of doubt. And that
yes,
concerns
and
me.
to also make the parents seem more like victims as well. They've been victimized by these mean YouTubers which they're not wrong. They have been slandered across here in every way they could be. That is the truth. Whether you like them or not, and whether you think that they're responsible, yeah, they have been. It's been awful.
I mean, they have created a sideshow of themselves, but the way that people have repeated the things that happened and the way the storylines have developed on top of that, because it is, I say storylines deliberately, it's like a soap opera. They've taken the things that they've seen and the things that the parents have said, and they've created it into a much bigger thing. It's like one of these based on a true story. Ripped from the headlines, sort of there's an element of truth in there to what he said, and then the rest of it is drama and fiction.
Yeah, that's one of the problems I really have with all of these channel holders floating theories out there and then expanding on them. And it goes on for so long you know, it's been 2 years now, it starts becoming hard to recall what was actually a fact and what just developed out of nowhere with no fact to base it on or anything, and people become confused in the whole mess of it all, and begin thinking that something that was floated out there once as a theory, i.e. Candace having kids that she gave away. You know, people aren't even sure, you know, some of the stuff that they've heard they think is a fact, and it's never been a fact. It's just a mess.
Yeah, I made a joke saying that there was a book, that Ziggy had written a book called The Ben Hill Baby Factory when I made that commercial. But the fact is that she's one of the people who has maintained the storyline that there were other pregnancies and that these babies were given away or sold purely based on what Fred has said about seeing other pregnancies. This Roe woman, knowledge is power, has insinuated the same thing. There's absolutely no evidence for this. We know that Candace had a child between the first two children who were taken into care and these current 4 that she had with Don, who also, one is missing and the other 3 have been taken into the system and have been looked after by other families. There is no evidence whatsoever of there being other children. And yet we're seeing this spun as a storyline, even to the point where Ziggy talks about Marlena Crawford having fake birth certificates. And it's just like, where is the evidence for any of this other than the speculative comments of Fred? I find it bizarre, but people are so dedicated to this idea. Even to the point of saying that Candace had a baby while Don was at work, because babies notoriously arrive on demand and during office hours. And I just find it incredible. It's like, do you know how pregnancy and birth work? The resurrected missing sister, yeah, Tara, that.
Yeah.
People seem to have forgotten how deep
The cow
Daisy
lady
was
did that. Yeah, the cow lady did that.
into the farce that was Rose Bly is alive and we know where she is, based on nothing really.
Yeah, they were insisting it was a cousin or something, and they were
Yes.
insisting that even though the age difference was profound, they were insisting that that was Rose, and it was a mess. Anybody that tried to debunk it with proof, Daisy, or her mods were blocking them. She wanted nothing to do with actual facts.
I'm going to say this now, and it's probably going to cause a shitstorm with Daisy, but nevertheless, here we go. Daisy, the awful comment that was made about Summer Wells in your back chat, comparing rigor mortis to a sex toy. You repeated it several times. You showed it on your screen several times. This comment that is appalling, and that you say yourself is appalling, but you repeat it and you repeat it and you repeat it. When do you get some self-control and think?
Well, she acted like it was so horrible to her, so awful, so traumatic for her, that the next night that she went live, she's like, come on, you're gonna come back? She wanted to invite this horrible, wretched person back, and indeed they came back.
And that's why we didn't go over. We went over the first night to explain the situation as to the account that was being used and the image that was being used, which was Bugsy's son, her wonderful son, and it's a beautiful photograph. And even Bugsy's own photograph was used by this person. And we went over to explain that. And once that was done, We were not going to give it any more time. And the second night, when it all started kicking off again, none of us went over there because we just don't want to be part of it.
Well,
Don't feed them.
It was so obvious why on the second night she invited it. That live had 8,000 views before she went live the next night. Now, she hadn't had 8,000 views on a live in months and months. So this
And she actually put a stalker image and the word stalker in the thumbnail for the live the second night.
She had plans on having it kick off again because it got her a lot of views. Now, if that's not a tragedy, pimp, I don't know what is.
And it's really unfair as well because this person exploits members of people's families who have passed and doesn't give a damn who they hurt. Yes, what they said about Summer was disgusting. I'm not taking away from the comments about Summer. But they also exploit the pain of people who are in this community. And if you encourage them to do that, you become part of the problem.
Absolutely. It's
And
just
rebuking it
sad.
in the name of Christ and speaking in tongues. I'm not saying that you don't believe that has power. I'm not interfering with that. What I'm saying is it becomes another element of performance.
It did, and she also made sure that she let Candace know the horrible things that were said in the back chat. But not only that, she made sure to have Candace up the next night and have Candace, speaking to the stalker, which honestly the stalker really doesn't have much to do with Summer Wells or all of that, except for just being somebody in the community. That stalker isn't new. It's been around the community.
Yeah,
but Daisy sure wanted to play on it. Boy, did she.
Yeah, she did. This is a situation that's been going on in several channels with awful comments and people's family members being used. It's almost unbelievable to me that it could be anybody outside one or two people. It's okay, people saying, oh, well, how would anybody get the picture of Julie's son? It's on a memorialized public Facebook page, and you all know she's called Julie Applewhite. And at least two people that I can think of off the top of my head have told us explicitly that they were digging into all the members of the Jerks and finding out everything about them. You don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to work it out.
So they couldn't find any criminal activity to exploit with Bugsy, so they went for something much different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait till the cyber crimes catches up with them. Mm-hmm. I absolutely can't wait for that day to happen because
I want to say something too, Jenna. And everybody else who's had that thought and spoke it. Not everybody has gone behind a car and drank and done drugs, and there's a lot of us who have not ever done that.
Nope,
I'm one
it's
of
a choice. I have made a choice not to do that.
Yeah,
I
did
one
too.
Of them. Don't say everybody does it. They don't.
Yeah, I watched a brother go through that. I refused, and I cannot deal with a substance controlling me, so I won't allow it. I'm not very good with control, so I fight it. But yeah, so don't presume that everybody's, oh, you did that when you were a kid. No, and I probably was looked down on as a square kid, but I didn't care. I just chose not to do it.
When I was in high school, was probably a freshman or a sophomore when a terrible tragedy struck our school. There was these two girls, they were best friends. They, you didn't see one without the other. Well, one weekend they had gone to a party, and one was driving after partying. The other one, I believe, was changing outfits in the back of the van when they got into an accident, and she was intoxicated. They were both intoxicated, but her best friend died that day.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, that's what happened to my brother. My brother's alive, but he was going 120 miles an hour. And the cop said, well, I'll just write it down for 80. I'm like, why? He trashed his car. The tires blew. He was drunk. I don't know what the limit was. He was over. He was upset over a girl, so he's driving with another guy to go see some girl. And the other guy ended up breaking his back. And my brother was on the road for a long time. Just back then, we didn't have cell phones. So he had to wander on the road and stuff. So he suffers a lot with that now.
Yeah. That story, that seeing that happen when I was in high school and seeing
hard.
These girls were really popular, and seeing the girl come back to school and now was a pariah, nobody wanted anything to do with her.
That's
and she
sad.
Was in this grief and all of that.
She didn't know how to deal with it.
No, she did something for me, because I made a choice right then and there. I would never drink and drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would never want,
We had a lot of kids in high school. We had a lot of drownings because there was we don't have, we have rivers. We don't have an ocean or anything like that. But there was a popular place to go. And my mom always told me, if you went past a certain point, there's little holes in there and they'll suck you in. So if I couldn't see the bottom, I wasn't going in it. Well, a lot of these kids, like you said, they'd go to parties and then they go play these dare games and go into that lake. And they didn't come back out. So it's sad. It's really sad. So that terrified me about water a lot. I can swim. Don't get me wrong. I can swim, but it freaks me out. But all those things are lasting memories like that. They were drunk.
I enjoyed the drink while I was at university, but I didn't drive. It was mostly public transport or even walking, because everything was much closer. We're not talking about a big country.
Right.
So it's possible for you to go out to the pub and just wander home. It's not necessarily a huge distance. As I've got older, I can't have a drink and enjoy it, because it interferes with medication or how I feel generally. It's just not worthwhile. It's not a big moral thing. It's just I don't want any interactions. I prefer to deal with the health issues I've already got to deal with. I have to take antibiotics every day because my system doesn't look after itself. And alcohol is one of those things that can mess up the situation, and also with antidepressants. So it's just not worth my while, and I don't miss it. But if I wanted to drink, I would have one. I just wouldn't choose to get behind the wheel of a car.
Exactly. Magpie, I agree with you 100%, especially it's not that hard. If you don't have a designated driver, you don't have a way home other than you driving, then you just don't drink. It's not that good. It's just
it
not.
really
I can have a drink at home if I want to have a drink that bad. I don't
exactly.
need to.
If you want to drink or even get drunk, or even get buzzed, whatever, just do it in the safety of your own home, or in the safety of a friend's home who doesn't mind you staying over until you're not buzzed. It's not that complicated. I don't understand. Yeah, Star says it's not rocket science.
No, it's not. It's an easy problem to solve, but the time to solve it is before you start drinking. If you make a decision to drink, you need to make that decision after you have thought about how you're getting home. It's just
And once
irresponsible not
again,
to.
this is beyond conversation about a specific person. That was the start of this conversation. We're not talking about that person now. We're talking about
in
the
general,
greater
anybody.
subject of how you choose to behave and the dangers that you put yourself and others in. So don't come at us and say, oh, they're still on about so-and-so. No, we're not. We're talking about the topic, how we choose to behave and the implications for other people of what we choose to do. It's bigger than one person. It's like going back to the diabetes conversation. It's bigger than one person. Don't make it so personal when that was a starting point and we've now moved on to something bigger. It's not about you.
It's just a conversation starter. That's all.
And it's a good conversation to have. The horrors of drunk driving are just beyond, and to have so many people normalizing that and acting like it's not a big deal. It is a big deal. People die.
Yeah. It's a preventable accident, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. With the best will in the world, I mean, obviously my situation is nothing to do with any sort of accident like that. It is traumatic to lose your ability to move around under your own steam. Wheelchairs of freedom. Don't get me wrong. I'm not traumatized by wheelchair at all. Wheelchairs of freedom, they're fantastic things. But at the point where you can no longer move under your own steam, that is a traumatic moment in your life for everybody. I know I'm not the only person up here who has had to face complications like that. I can't imagine what it would be like as a much younger person in a moment of poor decision to end up as a result of an accident with me or somebody in my car losing their ability to move around under their own steam and relying on a wheelchair. I don't like wheelchair bound or any of that type of description, but to end up where you need to use a wheelchair all the time in order to be mobile, psychologically, I cannot imagine the impact of that. I was much older. It came as a result of something different, and it was still difficult to accept. There are moments when it's still difficult to accept now, frustration-wise. To end up that way from something that could have been so different would blow my mind. And I would hate for anybody to be in that situation. I'm sorry to hear that, checking evictions. And that was later in life. And I think that these things are easier to deal with as you get older, because as you get older, loads of things start to get a bit achy and uncomfortable, so just by the nature of getting older, things change. But to have some sort of sudden catastrophic accident from the neck down, goodness me, he must have had some strength of character. 11 years, I take my hat off to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, the real Gigi. I think that's the problem. I think all of us are at that age where we've got young adult children who we desperately hope don't make a stupid decision. You give them the best sort of philosophical starting point that you can, but let's be honest, none of us ever know, do we, that something could happen. They could get in a car with somebody who they think is okay. Yeah, it's terrifying. Yes, thank God for Uber. That's a really good point, because there was a time when there weren't so many available rides around.
Yeah, it's different now. It's different now. And if you can't get an Uber or a cab and you don't have a designated driver, call one. Call a friend. Call a family member. I'm sure they would prefer that you did rather than drive and have something horrible happen.
That's interesting, actually. Zoot said, talking about the connection with the Kylie Rodney case. Yeah. And the thing is, the situation now, when she's a young, relatively inexperienced driver, and it's dark and it's near water, there are enough natural issues out there without creating any chemical ones. That was so tragic.
And she's right. It was absolute. The safety message that could have been made from that was absolutely lost because of the ridiculous speculation that went on around that case, when really it was an important message about youngsters drinking, driving.
I just remember the first time that the camera that was at a distance, when the first time that sort of film came out, where you saw the lights go into the water and then slowly dim.
Heartbreaking.
That
So
was heartbreaking when you realised that was what had happened. I mean, there was always speculation that that's what had happened, but you're right. The story was buried under stupid conspiracy theories about her non-existence or
so much. Oh, it was ridiculous. And in the end, it turned out to be a very young driver who may not have had all the experience. People said, oh, well, she was really smart. But smarts doesn't beat experience. It just doesn't. She was an inexperienced driver driving at night after having a little bit to drink. Those are not good things. Not with a 17-year-old. 16. Was she almost 17?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Truth Seeker, I don't believe there's any evidence that she was an overdose and her friends covered it up. I think that you're dealing in the realms of speculation there.
A sober person, adult, experienced driver going into the water in the dark of night could be confused enough. Now you take that with a 17-year-old that's never thought about how they're going to get out of a car should they ever get into water. It happens so fast. This is not something, yes, the car might have rolled in slowly, but it filled up fast, and her panic went like that. It was I was sure she was in panic mode right away, not knowing what to do. She missed her opportunity, you have to have a plan. If you go you have to have a plan before you ever go into the water. You got to get out of that car immediately. Get out. The door won't open easily. You're going to have to break the window.
I'm intrigued to see what the situation develops into with this legal case. I mean, I find he must have gone against recommendation. I can't believe that any legal representative would have said to Roanoke Church, oh no, fight it tooth and nail. I'm sure that in mediation he was being recommended to settle it out of court. And I don't believe that he can possibly win in court. I mean, that's just my opinion. It's not, just based on the fact that I feel that the family's suit makes some very strong points. He could be making a very expensive mistake. His ego, his devotion to his own bizarre theory is an expensive choice, I would guess.
Yeah.
Bugsy. Bugsy's been talking about the butt buddy in the Discord. Seriously considering finding out how much one is and getting it shipped over there.
A little portable bidet.
We'll have her do an unboxing review.
Unboxing and review.
I feel like we need to run a commercial to just kind of bring us back out of the darkness.
Oh yes, things took a very serious turn, which I don't necessarily regret, but that's not really what we're here for.
So let me find the one I am looking for. Oh, where are you? Oh, there it is.
Cracking and a nervous gas. Right, my darlings, it's 1 a.m. over here and I'm about to turn into a pumpkin. So
Not
I'm
a
gonna
pumpkin!
Yes.
I'm about to
It's about
do the
that
same
time for
girl, and
me,
it's only
too.
7 here.
Y'all know what that
I need
means
to
in
get some
chat,
food
right?
in me.
Y'all know what that means.
Yeah,
That
tickle
means
that
that
like
ours.
button.
Yeah, hit that thumbs up. Oh, let me give the shout outs real quick before we go. We're going to close this out. I want to thank the new members. Mama Jerk. The Black Belt BV, thank you for your super chat. Mama Jerk, thank you for your super chat. Thank you guys so much. And thank you everybody that was here tonight. And we
Thanks
will
everyone
see
for
you.
tuning in.
We'll see you again soon.
Yes, and when we do, we'll either have a solution to the copyright issue or a different introduction. But one way or another, something's changing tomorrow.
Someone is going to answer to Pearl. She said that earlier, and I sat up straight. Like, oh.
Uh-huh. Stay tuned. We'll see y'all soon.
Have a
You're embarrassing yourself. Go to bed.
Good night.